Hello! Yesterday, the new Walking Dead update came to Dead by Daylight, and as I expected, it's a bit of a shit show right now. There are things I like about it, but it feels very unfinished and honestly just underthought in many ways, and the fleshed out parts are mostly lackluster or just straight up bad. Let's start with the bugs because there are several issues that I noticed immediately. Number 1, the least offensive but maybe the most baffling bug is just the shit on the loading screen. I honestly can't tell for sure if this is a bug or if it's meant to be here and just look like shit, but regardless, I don't know how the hell this gets into the game. Normally I'm a huge defender of behavior, but this is ridiculous and should not be here. Number 2, some perks have seemingly just been changed without any heads up. For example, Desperate Measures got reverted back to 14% after being buffed to 20% with the release of the FNAF chapter, and nothing in the patch notes indicated that this was happening. I don't know what's caused this, or if it's actually the same and the text just got changed back. Who knows? Number 3, the absolute worst bug and the most unacceptable of the bunch that I found so far is the chase bug. Basically, whenever a fog vial gets used, from what I can tell, chase is now bugged for every survivor for the entire rest of the match. You can't get chase unless you hit a survivor and then it starts for a few seconds and then it goes back off. This is obviously a huge problem and affects both sides negatively. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, ooh, let me play survivor right now, maybe it's easier, but it's strangely not necessarily the case. For one, there are a lot of perks like Quick Gambit that rely on you being in chase, and 2, I've already gone against 2 pigs who are happily taking advantage of the fact that you could chase a survivor with an active trap on their head, and because it's bugged and you're technically not in chase, the timer still goes down and there's nothing you can do. Apparently this bug has been a thing since fog vials have been introduced a while ago. I was taking a break from Dead by Daylight because of school, so I didn't experience it myself, but that's what I've heard, which just makes its existence even more dumbfounding. I'm not like 100% sure they should necessarily kill switch the fog vials because they're the cool new item and I kinda like them, but they need to fix this ASAP as it is game breaking and the fact that it made it to live is ridiculous. Like I said, normally I'm a big behavior defender and I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but this is stupid and should not be accepted at all. Next, let's talk about the new item, the fog vials. Most people I've gone against are using them just straight up wrong. A lot of survivors wait till the killer is right on top of them and then pop it, but the killer could see you pretty damn well while you're both in the fog, so this is kinda pointless. What is a little more effective is to preemptively use your fog vial, especially with radius add-ons. If you throw down the vial before the killer is close enough to know exactly where you'll go, you can force them into a guessing game that's usually in your favor, at the very least won't hurt you as survivor. This is especially good when you're trying to throw off a tunneling killer from the trail of your teammate. I don't think this item is going to be particularly strong or anything, but I do quite like it with the obvious caveat of it being bugged currently. If they fix this though, I think they'll be a very welcome addition to the game. Then there are the new perks. I'll be honest, all of Rick's perks are just bad. The only one that sorta has my attention is Apocalyptic Ingenuity. Fragile pallets, for those unaware, work just like the anniversary pallets in that they break right after you throw them. Unfortunately, Rick's perks has too many conditions for just a fragile pallet. 1, rummaging or opening 2 chests is a big time commitment, and 2, running to where a pallet used to be and then having to spend a sizable 4 seconds setting it up is also a time commitment. It makes it so you just can't use it mid-chase like the party pallets, and it kinda just kills the perk's fun for me, like entirely. I don't think making it so he could throw a party pallet up while running would make the perk overpowered, and I kinda hope they go this direction, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they don't, seeing as, from what I know of The Walking Dead, it's a pretty grounded license, and being able to just magically summon a pallet might be a little too far on the whimsical side. We'll have to wait and see. Then, there's Michonne's perks. Like Rick's teamwork perk, and honestly just most teamwork perks, Michonne's isn't great, but I could see the aura reading being helpful for protecting your solo queue teammates. The endurance though is unlikely to ever come into play, I think. Next is Last Stand. I like this perk's concept, and I definitely think it could be used to make some fun plays, but I'll be honest, I have yet to see it in any of my games despite numerous people running it in every lobby I've been in. I'm hesitant to call it bad because its effect is quite strong, but its restrictive conditions make it hard for me to call it good either. I'm very excited to run it more. Like I said, I do like the concept, I just haven't had much luck so far with it, or seen anyone else have much luck with it. Lastly, there's Conviction, and this perk is kinda ridiculous, just as we expected. Even in games against killers who aren't trying to slug and just saw your teammate close by after downing you so they chase them for even just a few seconds, this perk can get huge value. 25% recovery only takes 8 seconds to get to without any help from other perks. And I think this simply just needs to be a good chunk higher because it forces so many killers into lose-lose scenarios so easily with like no effort. Maybe also making it so that during those 30 seconds, the timer goes down faster if you do a conspicuous action. I don't know, I just know that the perk for sure needs to be nerfed in some way. It also, like I said, disproportionately affects the killer roster big time. Like, anyone who's relying on slugging, such as Oni and especially Twins, are really hurt by this perk. Twins, if you see this in the game as Twins, I feel so bad for you. If you, let's say you played crazy good as Twins and you hit someone with Charlotte to start, which is rarely what happens because she's just a 4.6 basic M1 killer. You should not be able to do that. But even if a survivor fucks up and lets you do that, if you then deploy Victor after them to chase them, you're not getting that down for free, because let's say they just run in a straight line even, and you just pounce on them with Victor super quick, and the time it takes Victor to recover from that animation, then switch back to Charlotte, then go through that sluggish animation, then walk over, they're up with conviction without any other perks, no problem. And even if they just run to the corner of the map and don't try to make any crazy plays with conviction, that's still such a huge amount of time wasted. It completely kills Twins' power to slug and stuff. You're genuinely better off now just hitting them when they're healthy with Victor and then trying to down with Charlotte, which I think is stupid. Like I said, the perk needs nerfed, and I feel so bad for all three Twins players. Now let's talk about the killer changes. Pig got a bunch of nice quality of life changes that just make her smoother to play and a bit stronger. No complaints there. Then there's the Knight, and I was really worried for him, but thankfully they went back on their reduction to the guard banner timers from the PTB. Now I know a lot of people hate going against Knight and were probably hoping for this nerf to go through, but reducing banner timers does not nerf pincer attack Knights and only nerfs the Knights who send off their guards to do other tasks while they do a basic M1 chase on their own. What I'm trying to say is I think this reversion was a good decision on Behavior's end, because not only did the nerf feel kinda unnecessary, I was also very worried that all the Knights would now just be funneled into only the pincer attack playstyle if the changes did go through. Other than that, he got Call to Arms made partially base kit, which I think is great because it's just a quality of life add-on that most Knights ran anyway, and they gave him nice input buffering and increased control over his guard path placement, making him overall just nicer to play. He's still got his bugs, obviously, but Knight on the whole feels pretty damn good to play now. Pyramid Head also saw some big changes this patch, mostly in his add-ons. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Pyramid Head player by any stretch of the imagination. Personally, I find his tank control so bad that I don't even enjoy playing him very much, but I do generally like his rework from what little I've played as and gone against. I'm not going to go into each add-on individually because, like I said, I don't really have the expertise to tell you how good or balanced they are, but I think overall his rework was at least fun, and I like the add-ons with maybe a few exceptions. Unfortunately though, there's one killer who has changed this patch and has been made infinitely less fun to play as and go against, and that is, of course, the Clown. In the few games I've played as him and the few that I've played against him, I can confidently say Behavior has fucked this up big time. And they have made the Clown just so brain dead, maybe even more brain dead than someone like Legion, which is crazy to me. I had a match last night where I was on Haddonfield as Clown, and there was this Meg that I was chasing, and I knew she had overcome, so I was like, okay, I want to see how quickly this new stupid Clown can catch up to an overcoming Meg. So what I did is I threw a yellow bottle at her feet before hitting her, and then with Save the Best for Last and Rapid Brutality, and that yellow bottle, and then a pink bottle that I threw, I caught up to an overcoming Meg in less than 10 seconds, and she basically just ran in a straight line. That is so stupid. It should not be in the game at all. When I saw that Knight had his banner times reverted, I thought, okay, Behavior is actually listening to the community, and it's going to be great. And I just assumed they had also listened to people who played Clown, because, like, why wouldn't they? People were more outraged about Clown than Knight, honestly. And yet, this shit made it live, and I don't get how. I never liked Clown too much, he's never been my favorite killer, but I've always acknowledged that there is some skill ceiling to him, right? Like, there's crazy bottle setups you could do and stuff like that. There's a reason why there's a 200-page Clown guide, but that might as well have just been thrown out the window by Behavior, and I don't understand why they just went through with this. And it's not even like they made Clown that much better. Clown was already good in the 1v1. He just sucks in the 1v4, and he still does. So he's stronger, yes, but all they did was make the aspect of Clown that was already miserable to go against even less fun to go against and play without actually buffing the part of him that wasn't fantastic. I'm not saying they shouldn't have changed Clown's power at all. I think them at least attempting it was good, but this is like the worst iteration I could think of, and I genuinely hope they walk this back at least most of the way. That's pretty much all I have to say though. I don't know anything about The Walking Dead, so I couldn't tell you if it's faithful or anything like that. What I can tell you is that their screams sound so dumb, and I'm honestly starting to wonder if that's bugged too, because some of their screams are fine. but some of the screams are really bad. But that's about it. I hope you're all enjoying the update despite its issues, and have a great day.